Well, we are always reaching out for more people to be involved in the party, and it's important to focus on individual groups, and such as the Latinas and the Hispanics, and to get into their communities so we can have a better job of addressing their needs and hearing from them.
Right. And almost 6% of the people in Hamilton County are Hispanic. What do you think this will mean to them to see Hispanic leaders in Tennessee fighting for legislation and policies?
By reaching out to their community and hearing from them, we can address the issues that are important to their community. There's a failure sometimes to understand that you have to reach out and hear from them and get their point of view and address that point of view. So hopefully by having a representative from the Latino or Hispanic community, we can do a better job of reaching them for what they need.
And do you guys work with any Hispanic organizations in Chattanooga and Hamilton County to spread the word about voting?
We do, just generally. We also try to reach out through some of the organizations in Hamilton County that already exist. One of the things that people make a mistake about is that the Latino community is not necessarily all one group. There are many different groups even within the Hispanic community that have to be reached. So they're not voting necessarily as a block, but we have to reach them and address their concerns.
Hamilton County does have a growing Hispanic community, and for a long time the Hispanic population has voted Republican based on my research. However, in 2018 for the midterm elections, 3 out of 4 Latino voters supported a Democratic candidate. Do you know if we're seeing that in Hamilton County?
I've not seen any specific studies of Hamilton County. It's interesting, we learned in just this most recent presidential election, particularly in South Florida, that despite maybe a stereotype, just because they're Hispanic does not mean they're going to vote Democratic. Many Hispanic voters and many in the Hispanic community are more conservative because of their religious background, their national origin, and so many of them will support a Republican candidate. And that's why it's important to reach out to them and touch base with them directly.
What do you all do, the Hamilton County Democratic Party?
Well, we are constantly trying to reach voters through mailings, phone banking, personal contact. It's been a little difficult with the COVID because we haven't been able to do the gatherings. We're hoping to be able to start that soon. We're looking to have our first picnic on June 10th since the COVID started a couple of years last year, just to have an in-person gathering. So we will be doing that more and more as we build up toward 2022.
Is it hard to elect Democrats in Hamilton County since we are such a red state and just community in general?
It's a challenge, but by working in the right way, we can elect Democrats. There have been elections where, for example, in 2008, President Obama carried Hamilton County. So the Democratic vote is there. It's just getting them out to the polls.
This past year, 53.9% voted for President Trump and 44.2% voted for President Biden. Is that a small margin?
It shows that the Democratic Party is moving forward. The raw numbers sometimes tell better than the percentages how we're doing. We saw an increase in voter participation by Democrats in last year's election, but there was also an increase in Republican participation. But like I say, within the city of Chattanooga, the Democratic vote is very strong. As you get out to the rural areas, that the Republicans can overcome that. So we're working to change that dynamic.
Right. Do you guys go out to the rural areas and talk to them out there?
We do. We try to reach out everywhere. 2
of the biggest blue cities right now are Nashville and Memphis. Do you guys speak with the Democratic parties over there and try to figure out what you can do for Hamilton County?
Working through the Tennessee State Democratic Party, we all work together. And I think with our new chair, Hendro Remus, he is focusing on improving that, taking the model from the Georgia effort to turn Georgia blue. And it's going to take a while. It's a focus on the local grassroots level to get the Democratic vote out.
And what do you think about Georgia turning blue? That was such a historic thing.
It just showed a lot of work, a lot of effort, and a change in the dynamic in Georgia that Stacey Abrams and those who were a part of that were able to take advantage of. We can do the same thing here in Tennessee. It's just, it takes a while.
So what do you all do, like right now when it's not election season?
Well, right now we are planning for our reorganization, which is a process we do every 2 years, where the party elects new officers and new precinct officers and a new executive committee. Normally that's done in the spring, but with COVID, we've had to put our reorganization over to August 21st. We'll be getting word out about that in more detail. But on that day, we'll have people come in to, like I say, take precinct offices, executive committee, new officers. I'm running for re-election, so hopefully I'll be re-elected as we go forward and work to 2022. And we use that group as a base for reaching out to the precincts and reaching out to voters.
How did you all spread the message to vote this past year with the pandemic?
We did a combination of things. We had a phone banking group that worked very hard to get out the word, particularly about absentee voting and the importance of following through with that. We were able to do a mailer, particularly for Senate District 10, where Glenn Scruggs was running against Todd Gardenhire, that reached about 20,000 voters, and just through word of mouth and those kind of efforts.
Did you all work with the other candidates like Marquita Bradshaw and Meg Gorman?
Yes, yeah. Our focus was with Glenn Scruggs because we thought he had the best chance of turning that seat. And if you look, he did very well in Hamilton County. It's just Bradley County is a tough nut to crack. That's why they gerrymandered that district that way. But in doing that, we also worked for all the other candidates who were running. But our focus was on the Glenn Scruggs race.
And just out of curiosity, for elections like the mayor's office, do you guys know like if the candidate is like Democratic or if they're Republican?
That depends a lot. It's a nonpartisan race,
Right.
and we have to respect the choice of a person to run in a nonpartisan race and look at how they are addressing issues to decide how to vote for them.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add about the Hamilton County Democratic Party?
Just we are available. We are open. Our headquarters is open on Monday and Wednesday from 1 to 4:30. But you can also reach us by phone or by email.